Hi, good afternoon everyone. This is Peng from Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and I would like to share a very short section on how to use Google Form to create quiz. And you might also use it as game in which like escape room, which I found quite suitable to use it for simple modified problem-based learning. I think most of you are already quite familiar with the Google Form, so my session will be more interesting to those who haven't used Google Form before or use it for quiz. To start with, you will need to log in to your Google account. After that, on the top right section, you will find the 9th circle icon, which is the Google Apps. Click on it to look for Google Form. Now, when you get into the Google Form, you will now have the template gallery on the top, where you can also find the blank quiz template. Simply click on the blank quiz template to create your quiz. If you click on the blank quiz template as your startup, it will automatically make this form as a quiz or in quiz mode. You can check it under the setting where it automatically set the form as a quiz. And under this setting, you can also set your quiz on whether release the grid immediately after each submission, or you can either choose on later after manual review. Besides, you can also set on whether to let the respondent, which is the student, to see the missed question, correct answer, and also the point value. So since we are in the setting, I would like to go through all the options in which we can set up for our quiz. Under the general, you may want to pick on limit to one response and unclick the restrict to user in each institutions. This is to make sure that the student will not make double submission and to avoid rejections of the submissions. Besides, you can also select whether the respondent or the student can edit after submit and see the summaries chart after and the test response after they submit. Under the presentation, you may click on whether to show the progress bar, shuffle question order, and show link to submit another response. I found that the shuffle question order is quite useful in this case if we would like to minimize the cheating among students. After you have selected what you want for your quiz setting, you now can save it. To create the quiz, first give a title for your quiz. Under the title, there is a section for you to key in the descriptions. Under these sections, you may describe how your quiz is and make some remarks and tips on how to answer the quiz. This is especially important when you want to select the mode of short answer as your questions. There are few icons on the right for you to add questions, to import questions, to add title and description, to add figure and video for your quiz introduction, and to add sessions. Create sessions is important if you wish to shuffle your questions, to shuffle your quiz questions. Thus, you need to have a session in which students need to fill up their detail, for example, their metric number. And make it as required, so they will need to fill up their metric number compulsory. And in the section 2 or another section, you may now insert your questions, your quiz questions, and under these questions, the mode of suffer will take actions. After the session is set up, you can now make your questions. There are several options for you to ask the questions, and I found the most useful one is the multiple choice and the check boxes, in which these two options you can have the system to do the auto marking, and you need not do the marking manually. But if you select the short answer or paragraph, you will need to do the manual review. This Google form also suitable for us to do the practical tests, like plant and animal species identification, whereby you can insert a picture of an organism in one question that you wish your student to identify, and they need to provide the correct scientific or common name for that organism. Under the insert image, you can search the image in Google. So now this is the organism that I wish the student to identify. After you set up the questions, you may now insert the detail of your answer. You can set a point for the questions and also add in the correct answer. You may also switch on the require button to help or make sure the student answer all the questions. One thing should be reminded in this setting is that the correct answer is case sensitive. If the answer you type is lowercase letter Brachycephalus sanguineus, uppercase R answer will consider wrong. And thus manual review is required if you opt for short answer and paragraph to avoid the marking mistake. So you may now set up other questions of your quiz, and at the end you can preview and test the quiz you create to make sure it is good for answering. The preview button is on the top. So in the first session, I need to key in my metric number. And in the second sessions, I can test my quiz question by typing in the answer. Right. And submit. So after you submit, you can check on the question you create and the answer you type in. As I said, the answer is case sensitive, so when you select the short answer as your question mode, you need to make sure that you have put in the tips for answering the quiz. And if you're already satisfied with your quiz, you may now share it or attach the form into the eCampus by clicking on the send to get the link or the embed code to put into the eCampus. This is one of the example of my quiz. So after the student answer, you can check on the response. You can check on the response in your Google form. So quiz 1, in which I have 24 respondents, and under the response you can see the summary. It will show the overall performance of the student, the frequently missed questions. This is very helpful so that you know which part actually the student is weak on and who already answered the questions, and the breakdown of the performance for each student in each questions. And you can even download the spreadsheet for record. So to create a game-based Google Form quiz, this is one of the examples that I did for my course, which is called Escape Room of DVT 21702. So in this case, students need to correctly answer the question in each section before they can proceed to another section. For example, When I get the answer wrong for the questions 1, I cannot proceed to section 2. And under this question, there is a hint when the answer is wrong. So DVT 21702 is all about ectoparasite, and I need to have infection or infestations. So for ectoparasite, the term that we need to use is infestation. So after I get the answer, I will try again, and if the answer is correct, then I can proceed to the next section, which is the next room of the escape room. So to set up this, the difference between the quiz and to do the escape room is to have a response validations inserted. So for example, if the answer doesn't contain might, the system will not let the student to proceed to next sessions, and they will get the hint of the answer, and the student need to try until they get the correct answer before they can proceed to another section. So that's all for my sharing. Thank you all, and I hope you guys will make use of the Google form for quiz and even create a game for your students. Thank you.